The Florida Panthers are the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. We're going to discuss the Game 7 recap, take a look at what happened tonight, and take a look at this team and what it means moving forward for both Edmonton and Florida coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have the Stanley Cup champions have been crowned. The 2024 champions are the Florida Panthers for the first time in franchise history, 30 years in the making. Congratulations to Florida on a hard-fought season, hard-fought series. They had this 3-0 lead, did it the hard way. The Oilers darn near completed a comeback, but after 3 straight losses, Florida remembered how to play hockey tonight. They remembered their strengths. They got back to their identity. They were winning the board battles. They were playing better defensively. Bobrovsky was kind of back to being Bobrovsky after some games where he wasn't up to his normal self. And I do wonder if the Oilers kind of just ran out of gas. I mean, you have to think from the Oilers' perspective that it had to be exhausting trying to win 4 straight games and with all that travel and all that pressure and all that adversity. They darn near did it, but I tell you, what a series. That turned out at the beginning, it looked like it was going to be one of the worst Stanley Cup finals in recent memory. Nobody wants to see a sweep. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the league. Not good for entertainment purposes. But, the Oilers made it interesting. And McDavid did some special things. So did Evan Bouchard and many of their teammates. McDavid ends up winning the Conn Smythe Trophy's playoff MVP. He did not come out to accept the trophy. A little bummed that Florida fans actually booed him after they announced him as the Conn Smythe winner. At that point, you won the Stanley Cup. Your team won. You can have some respect for the other team. Just a minor thing there. But obviously, the Panthers are a team that's going to probably look a lot different next year. They have a lot of expiring contracts. But they came together for one last time tonight, and they got it done 2-1, right down to the wire. The Oilers came close to getting it tied up. Bobrovsky was really good in the third period. Neither power play was really able to get going. They only had a couple chances apiece. Like I said, Florida just did Florida things. They won those board battles. They played strong defensively. They got good goaltending. Edmonton did a lot of those things too, but it was just enough on the other side that Florida got the win. Sam Reinhart gets the cup-winning, clinching goal. Verhaeghe scored, so those guys have been quiet the last 3 or 4 games, so it was good to see them. They needed them in order to come out and win. Alexander Barkov, the first Finnish captain to hoist the Stanley Cup in history, so that's nice to see. Barkov's a hell of a player, so feel good for him. Kyle Okposo has been around the league a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires now. Not only did he win the Stanley Cup tonight, he made an extra $500,000, which will count as a bonus overage on the Florida Panthers cap next year because he had it in his contract. He negotiated it even with the Buffalo Sabres, where he started the season. He knew there was a good chance he could get dealt at the deadline and he would have a shot at the playoffs. And what happens? Well, he gets in there and says, I want a contract with a bonus that has for Stanley Cup win, $500,000. So a nice chunk of change in his pocket, all in a day's work. He gets to his first Stanley Cup ever. I think he's been in the league, 17 years? He's been through a lot, serious injuries, you name it. I would think that he's probably going to go out on top. At least that's my guess. We'll see what happens, but feel good for him. Paul Maurice. I love Paul Maurice. He's a heck of a coach. Hard guy that you can't help but like this guy. Like just listening to his interviews, sarcasm, yes, but I appreciate good sarcasm for most people anyway. Third most games coach in history in the league. He's been so close, been around for 30 years. Works hard, and even his post-game interview talking about winning the cup. He even made sure, he talked all about family and his family, and he even makes sure that he talks and said that he hopes if he could have one more thing, because he coached there a long time and he loves the city and a lot of the players and the organization, but he said he hopes to see the Winnipeg Jets win a Stanley Cup soon. So that was nice of him to say that. Great moment between the Tkachuks. You could see Brady and Keith and Chantel and tearing up in the stands, watching Matthew, and just that's going to motivate Brady even more. I'll never be a Matthew Tkachuk fan, but feel good for the family. Been around the game, done so much for it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, another guy you got to feel good for on a 1-year deal after getting bought out in Vancouver. Through Arizona, some tough times. Like, he's been dragged through the mud. And he's been somebody who's taken a lot of crap for being overpaid and overhyped and all that. And, a lot of it wasn't his fault. He didn't ask, to be in the spotlight the way he was, to lead a team that struggled for all those years. And, so you got to feel good for him too. Roberto Luongo, even though he's not playing anymore, one of his elusive things, he knows what it's like to be Game 7 Stanley Cup Final and lose, in 2011 against the Bruins when he was in Vancouver. So feel good for Luongo, who's had a hell of a run, and certainly somebody who's now, like I said, in management, and feels good for him. Like I said, Barkov's a great player. Lots of other great guys that are around the team. Tarasenko, that gets his second Stanley Cup. I know he's hoping to stay in Florida, but a lot of these guys aren't going to be back. Like, you got a lot of free agents, and some of them will return, sure, but they're going to go through change. Like, I think it's probably the end of the road for Brandon Montour there. He's probably not returning to Florida. They certainly, Gustav Forsling was given a priority, which he rightfully so. He's turning into the team's best defenseman. I wonder what the future of Aaron Ekblad, 10-year run, Stanley Cup. He's got 1 year left on his deal. They're going to need some cap flexibility to keep some other guys that might take priority. I do wonder about Ekblad's future. So we'll see there. Reinhardt's had a hell of a season. Second year in a row, Sabres fans, they've got to be just gutted. Second year in a row, one of your top guys who ended up leaving there through, I don't know what level of rebuild you want to call it, because it feels like they've been building forever there. But, you saw Eichel get a cup last year, Reinhardt this year. And, of course, there's more than just Reinhardt this year with connections to Buffalo. We look at, obviously, Okposo, who just came from there. Rodriguez had history there. It always hurts. Sometimes, I don't know how you guys feel, but I know for me, I cheer a lot more for people than I do teams. Yes, I have a favorite team too, like everybody else. But at the end of the day, over time, as you get older, I think you kind of realize that it's more about the people than it is about the teams. And no matter who wins, I can find good in it. And, I'm old enough and mature enough that I don't get upset if my team doesn't win anymore. Kind of used to it. And, but you can find ways to be happy for people, because when you've been around a game and been a fan of the game, and for me, like I said, I've been a lifelong hockey fan. The last what are we at now, 5, 6, 7 years of covering the game via YouTube. Obviously, you kind of just appreciate the good aspects of the game and the good people of the game, and you like to see good people get rewarded with the absolute best watch, which is, it's the same time, with saying that, you kind of feel crushed for some of these older guys like McDavid and Bouchard. They did some special things in this playoff run and came up short. If I was in that situation, I don't know if I'd want to be the loser. Being the loser in Game 7, it's just such a kick in the you-know-what. But you know what? For Oilers fans watching this, they're going to be back. They learned this year how to win. And I feel like if you look at the history of the recent champions, a lot of these teams have to learn how to win, and they almost need to lose first before they win. It's a stepping stone. Florida did it last year. We've seen it before. Look at the Pittsburgh and the early Crosby days. It's going to happen. I believe Edmonton will get there. And it's going to be coming soon, I think. But at the end of the day, the Florida Panthers have made history. First Cup, lots of great people there. So congratulations to the Panthers fans. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers players. Bill Zito's he's done a fantastic job. He's only been in GM there for a handful of years, but he's done amazing work. And, he's certainly somebody that's... I think a lot of teams have wished they had hired sooner. He's done a really good job at finding value, bringing in guys that were, not underappreciated elsewhere, so to speak, or, some of these things kind of came to him in a sense. When Matthew Tkachuk became available, he get aggressive to get him. He got Carter Verhaeghe. That was a prime example of finding value when other teams didn't really want to pay much. So he brought him in, Look at when they had Duclair there for a while, it was the same thing. Obviously, lots of guys there. Bring in Ekman Larsson after getting bought out. They took up Forsling off of waivers. They got Montour, for pretty cheap out of Buffalo. They've been able to take advantage of other teams, not wanting some of these players, or in some cases, some of these players wanting out. Like Tkachuk was a player who wanted out. Reinhart was a guy that kind of wanted out. Sam Bennett they got for a song and a dance. I don't know what Brad Treliving was thinking on that one. They basically gave Bennett away. He's been a key piece there as well. So, at the end of the day, just Zito's done a phenomenal job. Maurice has always been a good coach, and he gets rewarded after going with Florida, after taking a break with the Winnipeg Jets, and here he is. So congratulations again. Lots of great people were rewarded. Hell of a season. The season's over. Now we get to the full ramped up version of the off season. The next couple of days are going to probably be busy with signings for players that are staying with their existing teams. You're going to see that. We saw a trade tonight right before the puck drop. The Senators getting Linus Ullmark from Boston. Huge trade there. There's probably going to be a few more. We got the draft coming up Friday. We got Thursday's the awards. It's going to be a busy week. So you're going to be seeing lots of me, tons of videos. We're going to get our offseason plan series wrapped up here in the next couple of days. I want to get all those team videos posted before we get to the draft. There's going to be probably one final mock draft as well. We're going to go a little deeper into the prospect picking here. Plus, we've had some picks change hands, etc. So we're gonna have lots of stuff coming. So stay tuned. Hope thanks for everybody again. Just again, I know we don't do it a lot, but obviously there's a lot of you that have stuck with me here and watched my coverage of the NHL. For some of you been here for several months, some of you been here for several years, several weeks. The channel's grown a lot. So certainly appreciate all of you sticking around and making this community great. And obviously, like I said, a lot of what we do here is for discussion purposes. I want to kind of give everybody a chance to talk and give my 2 cents and see what everybody else thinks as well. So appreciate you sticking around. We're through another season. It's hard to believe how many seasons we've been through now with this channel and this community. And like I said, things are about to get real busy. So certainly hope you'll be around and be prepared for all kinds of news. It's coming fast and furious over the next few days. So that's it for the playoffs. Now on to the heavy lifting of the offseason. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.